People have asked, what's it like to come back after 12 years out? And I said it's really a sense of deja vu, almost Groundhog Day. I can remember standing here with John McCain about 14 years ago, celebrating the passage of the line item veto that we both authored and helped steer through the Congress and supported by the President. Now, I got to tell my friend from Delaware that when you team up with John McCain, you don't use a rifle. You use a bazooka at least. And so we went for a bigger shot and probably overstepped our bounds according to the Supreme Court. We thought it was constitutional. We crafted it that way, but it didn't turn out that way. This is now another opportunity. And I think what is important about those of us who are standing here today is to send the signal that this is not one party lined up against another. This is people from both parties, individuals from both parties that have said we are in serious fiscal straits, and we need to look at those tools which will help us work through this process of getting our house back on a fiscally sound setting. So we have Republicans and Democrats who have basically said, here's one tool, and there are more that we can do. Tom Carper has articulated some of those. And so if there is a glimmer of light, of hope for our ability to address this fiscal crisis in a bipartisan way, which it will have to be if we're going to succeed, this is a good start. So I'm proud to be standing here with these people once again, bringing the enhanced rescission or line item veto proposal forward. I think it deserves and will get bipartisan support, and I think it's an important step, along with elimination of earmarks, as a way of bringing fiscal discipline to the Congress and addressing a fiscal situation, which I think we all know has to be addressed, not later, but now. I think there'll be a lot of people who don't want us to make the difficult decisions on cutting spending and getting government back to its rightful role and fiscally responsible role. And they're going to continue to bring up, well, what about this cut or what about that cut? I think what's important here is that everyone on this platform is basically saying we have a major fiscal problem facing this country with dire consequences for us if we don't address it. And the first way to address it, I think we would all agree, is to set the goals. Now, whether that is, the baseline for 2008 or 2006 or whatever, we have to set some goals to get to that, and then lock that in with a commitment to get to that. And then from that point forward, we'll go forward and look at every aspect of government spending and government involving, asking very basic questions, like, is this the primary, essential role of the federal government, or can this better be handled by the private sector or states or local communities? Does this increase our deficit or decrease our deficit? Does this increase our debt or decrease our debt? We're going to have to make very tough decisions, but to get now into the situation where we're simply cherry picking a particular item to say, oh, well, if you're not going to do that, how are you going to get to this, I think is the wrong way to go forward. And I think there is a growing commitment on a bipartisan basis, as governors are showing across the country and as others are talking about here in Washington, and that is to figure out where we need to get to and make a commitment to get to that and stay committed to that. And then we will have the disputes and debates about which goes where and which has to cut and how much here and how much there. But if we get distracted into that first, we won't, I believe, accomplish what we need to accomplish.